That Grammy speech last night is literally destroying Shaboozey's career. Prior to last night, nobody hated Shaboozey. Everybody loved him. Shaboozey had no controversy surrounding his name. He was one of those dudes that everybody loved. His music resonated with a lot of people. But after last night, Shaboozey is hated by half America. Before we get this video started, if you're in need of some money and you really need to find a way to get your hands on some quick cash, there's an app called Free Cash where they pay you to test out video games. You click the link in my description or you scan my QR code to download the app. Once you download the app, you can choose the games you want to test out and they pay you to test it out. It's a really easy way to make a couple extra $100 a month. It is all transparent, it's trackable, it's not a scam. They really do pay you. So if you need the money, download the app by clicking the link in my description and get started now.
Damn. I just walked in here literally 10 seconds ago. I got a speech, man. I've never written a speech in my life, and yesterday I said, I should write a speech. I said, dear God, I just want to say thank you. Nothing is possible without you. Your love and will preserves me through it all. I want to also thank my mother, who as of today has retired from her job after 30 years.
The first half started off strong, and if he stopped the speech here, he is a hero. I mean, his mama retired. He's doing what he's doing for his mama. He's, a successful black man in country music. He's doing his thing. But the second half,
working in the medical field as a registered nurse in the psych ward. She worked 3 to 4 jobs just to provide for me and my four siblings as an immigrant in this country. Thank you, Mom. Sorry, I know I don't got too much time. I'm gonna read this whole speech though. I also want to thank Jared Carter, Abbas Patti, Tina Davis, Ghazi, Nima, Nate Stevenson, and the entire Empire team for believing in me. Thank you so much, brother. And everybody else, Sean Cook, Nevin Sastry, Josh Klein, and TKG, my lawyer, Bob Celeste, and everybody that's a part of this, Harvey Mason, thank you so much. I have the greatest team in the world. Thank you so much. And again, the last thing I want to say, immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity, to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it. Thank you for bringing your culture, your music, your stories, and your traditions here. You give America color. I love y'all so much.
and he says immigrants built this country, he pissed off 2 groups of people. He pissed off the white supremacist, MAGA, white nationalist, Christian. He pissed off all the right-wing folks. But then he also pissed off black Americans because they felt like he was discrediting them. Now, I think even the bad faith actors can probably say, now he was incorrect, right? Black slaves and white settlers built this country, and black slaves weren't immigrants. They were dragged here, right? They were brought here against their will. So in that regard, they aren't immigrants. But it's one of those things where I think we know what he meant. Like, I don't think he meant people who migrated here a generation ago or 2 generations ago or 3 generations ago built this country. I think he meant black folks. I think he incorrectly labeled slaves as immigrants. That's what I think. I don't think he meant the Nigerian that came here 27 years ago. He built America. But people took it as that, and that led to a lot of backlash. People ran to their TikToks, to their Instagram, to put out think pieces calling out Shaboozey.
So now we're just going to lie about the foundation of the United States and just say that immigrants built the country. Well, Shaboozey's going to say that immigrants built the country during his Grammy Award speech. And this is the problem, bro. If you build a country, you're not an immigrant. So the foundational people that were here before the founding of this country, and they did all the slave labor and they were participating in bondage against their will, right? Those are the people that built the country. And if you build a country, you're not an immigrant. So the people that came after, those are immigrants, right? And you cannot be an immigrant and then be the foundation of this country at the same time. An immigrant is somebody that migrates to an already established country. So it doesn't make sense when y'all say that. And it's getting very disrespectful. Means that You are doing an award speech for a genre of music that your ethnic background didn't create, right? And the very people that I'm talking about also built the foundation for country music. Black Americans, ethnic Black Americans built the foundation of country music, and you're also not giving credit to them as well. It's just disrespectful all around. Let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
I was not born in America, so I can't tell American-born people what to be offended by. It's not the place, right, of anybody to tell an offended party how to behave or how to act or how not to be offended. It's not our place, right? So if they're offended, then that's their right to be offended. What I can say though, or I can at least speak towards, people put in bad faith connotations towards what Shaboozey did. I don't think Shaboozey intentionally mislabeled Black Americans. I don't think Shaboozey intentionally discredited Black Americans. I don't think that was Shaboozey's intentions. I think Shaboozey's intentions was to big up immigrants right now being affected by ICE. I think Shaboozey was taking a stand against ICE. I think when Shaboozey mentioned immigrants built this country, I think Shaboozey was talking about slaves who came to this country or slaves who were brought to this country. I think what he was saying included Black Americans. He just mislabeled slaves because slaves were not immigrants. But what I would say, man, is the reason why people feel that way about Shaboozey, for the most part, is because of the history with Black immigrants and Native Black Americans, right? And that history has been hostile, right? Like Native Black Americans or American-born Blacks fought they heart off, right? Like they fought really, really, really hard to have Black immigrants included in a civil rights bill. And the reason why the civil rights leaders of that time fought so hard to include Black immigrants in a civil rights bill was because their thought process was, when our Black brothers come over here, they will join us in our fight against the oppressor. They will join us in our fight against white supremacy. However, when some Black immigrants came here, they didn't join the fight against white supremacy. They took on the identity of the white supremacists, and they actually joined the fight against our liberation. So, like, Native-born Blacks have a right to feel, hoodwinked, bamboozled, that they fought for something and they thought people who are going to be coming over here would help them fight, but instead, those are the very same people some of them is fighting against. So it's understandable why some native-born Black Americans will want to delineate, no longer want to associate with Black immigrants, no longer want to be grouped among Black immigrants. That's understandable. But where I feel like the movement kind of lose a lot of people is when the delineation then start to cross over into xenophobia, prejudice, and racism. And making an entire group of people pay for the sins of a small group, because sellouts exist on all sides, right? There are native-born immigrants who are sellouts. There are native-born Black Americans who are sellouts. What appears to be happening, though, is the values and beliefs and opinions of the small percentage of sellouts that are Native Africans is being attached to all immigrant groups, right? We're being told that we have values and beliefs and opinions that we don't have, right? Most of us come here, majority of us come here, and we love our Black brothers and sisters, of all walks of life. And we are on code, and we are for Black liberation. But we're being made to have opinions and values and beliefs that we don't have. When, again, I would never say, that the majority of Black Americans think like Black MAGA, right? No, right? Why? Why? Because they're sellouts. Due to the belief, values, and actions of a small group, people, well, the FBAs and ADOs are, just naturally skeptical of Black immigrants. So because of this, Shaboozey's apology was met with a lot of skepticism. So he put out a clarification and an apology um, for what he said, and not really mentioning, the native Black Americans who built this country on the first day of Black History Month. And what he said was, first and foremost, I want to express my deep gratitude to everyone who has supported and celebrated my journey as an artist. I also want to acknowledge the conversation surrounding my acceptance speech. To be clear, I know and believe that we Black people have also built this country. My words were never intended to dismiss the truth. I am both a Black man and the son of Nigerian immigrants, and in the overwhelming moment of winning my first Grammy, my focus was on honoring the sacrifices my parents made by coming to this country to give me and my siblings opportunities they never had. At the same time, winning this award on the first day of Black History Month and becoming the first Black man to win Best Country Duo is Black history. It stands on the foundation laid by generations of Black people who fought, sacrificed, and succeeded long before me. This moment belongs to all of us. My entire career has been rooted in lifting people up, honoring where we come from, and expanding what's possible. I am proud to be part of this legacy, and I intend to continue doing that work for the rest of my life. With love, Shaboozey. To me, that was a pretty heartfelt, genuine, right response, right? I think he clarified that he didn't mean that just immigrants built this country, that, he kind of included Black people in that, but, because slaves weren't immigrants, he kind of had to come back and clarify. However, again, that skepticism, man, that comes that I feel like a lot of immigrants kind of have to work really hard to overcome. People were calling this apology fake, saying it was disingenuous, saying that that they're not buying it at all whatsoever, and they ran to their social media in droves to call Shaboozey fake, for this clarification.
Then you tried to have an apology. Then you tried to apologize and you said, well, I didn't mean to say immigrants. I meant Black folks. And for real, Shaboozey, you being funny. You being funny. Okay? Because don't act like you don't know how Black Americans and Nigerians are different. Please don't do that. And I love my Nigerians, my brothers and sisters. Y'all know I'm the same as y'all for the most part. But I'm an American. That's a different story. Y'all know I'm your long lost cousin from 400 years ago. So don't even do that. But let's not act like y'all don't know the difference. When you're in your household, Shaboozey, what do you say? Oh, the African Americans, they're up to the nonsense again. They are captors, they're ruining the neighborhood. If one of these guys, they act up, I'm going to call the police on them. That's what you say in your house.
You see what I'm talking about? And I think that's unfair. I think if you've ran across a couple of Black immigrants who say the word Akata and who are sellouts and who disparage Black Americans, if that's been your experience, I think it's unfair to attach that to any and all Black immigrant, right? Like, there's no proof, there's no evidence that Shaboozey thinks like one of those, Black immigrants. There's no proof that Shaboozey is saying the word Akata. There's no proof that that he hates like native-born Black Americans. But that's being thrown upon him due to the bad experience that y'all have had with a small percentage of Black immigrants, right? Or again, for some people, maybe your entire experience has been bad when dealing with Black immigrants. That's fine, right? That's cool. But you can still say it's still unfair to assume that Shaboozey is one of the Black immigrants who are disparaging Black folks behind closed doors. That's wrong, right? Because there's no evidence of it.
Again, to me, this is me personally, as a Black American, I am offended by Shaboozey's statement and offended by this man's response to Black Americans' response. I want to address a couple of things regarding Shaboozey's speech. I think it is once again so disrespectful and belittling for anyone to comment on Black Americans' response to Shaboozey's statement stating that immigrants built this country, because it is wrong. And when we Black Americans point that out, when we say that is not true, these are the facts, the response to us is like, ugh, again, you guys always have to center yourselves. This isn't the time to be doing this. Shut up. So when is the time? Because it seems that anytime we try to correct people on American history, on Black history, we're told to be quiet. It is never, ever, ever the wrong time to provide an accurate version of history. It is never going to be the wrong time to tell the truth. It is never going to be the wrong time to educate someone on facts. It will always be the wrong time to allow someone to run off with false narrative.
If the focus is to correct and educate, there's no problem with that. But honestly, things are getting really bad. Things are honestly getting really, really, really bad with this diaspora wars, man. And something has to give at some point, man. We can't take joy in hurting each other, man. Right? The Black immigrants who celebrate white supremacy, they have to be checked. And the adults and some adults and some FBAs who find great joy in what ICE is doing, who find great joy in rights being stripped away from black immigrants. Because, I think I seen like a video of this girl, man, and she was laughing at the thought of, of like black immigrants being taken off the streets. So it felt like what's happening is some adults and some FBAs are saying, we've been suffering in this country long enough, and y'all have stood by idle, and some of y'all have worked against us. Now that it's happened to y'all, we love it. And it's just, that's not the way forward, bruh. We should all be on the same page. We should lock in. But the way it's going, man, I fear there's gonna come a day where too much have been done, too much have been said on both sides that it just becomes impossible to connect. And do we really want that reality? But y'all let me know in the comment section, man, right? Like, what do you guys think about this, okay? And if you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, then click on this video right here to find out how Corey Holcomb is going to regret doing this, right? Click on this video right here to find out a really bad decision that Corey Holcomb just made. I'm going to see you guys in this video. Out of here, folks. Peace.